Hey everyone, welcome. Welcome to Sunday Morning Coffee with Caryn, episode 41. No one and nothing has power over me. So it is going to be a very awesome live stream today. And let's make sure I can see the comments. I hope you all are having a beautiful Sunday. I have been up and going since 5:30 in the morning and was on a radio show earlier today. I left the link on my page. I will grab it real quick for you guys. It will be in the description of the video on YouTube for those of you who are watching this on YouTube later. This is the radio show The Awakening. It was on the show earlier today. And we can get going. Okay, perfect. So, today's topic, oh, my favorite topic. Okay. This is my most favorite topic because it's the way that you actually can become a master of energy alchemy, a master of your emotions, a master at commanding the energy around you to really and truly create the life that seems impossible to you right now. So many of us have been on healing journeys. We know how to release trauma. We know how to do the inner work. We know what our triggers are and what it is. Oh, you heard my radio show. Awesome, Chase. Um, we we know how to do this, okay? We do. Like, we're not trying to move from our unconscious into our conscious minds anymore. We're trying to reach into the bigger picture. We're trying to reach bigger and bolder. And can we really attain those dreams that we barely have an inkling of? Are we really capable of being the person who has the things that we want in our life? Are we truly able to allow for ego death to occur? And the only way that you can truly live in a constant superconscious state is to recognize that there is no one and no thing at all ever that has power over you, aka there are no victims. So this is a huge thing that we don't look at in our value system as energy workers, as people who understand that there is a metaphysical quantum property to the way that law of attraction and law of creation works. Those of us who get how manifestation works, those of us who have to actually at some point we realize that, like, with great power comes great responsibility, and it's not that you're censoring your thoughts, it's that you are very conscious, super consciously aware of what you're thinking, because you know that certain things that you think are bound to happen. So you have this space of, am I going to think and continue to make choices and make actions in my life that are from a vindictive space, from an abusive space, from a disrespectful space? Or am I going to make those choices from a space of love and empowerment and I know that you can do this? Because to the outside world, both of those can look the same. You can look like a completely, totally cold hearted bitch who absolutely just is trying to push the hard sale, who's just trying to get your money, who is using all of the things that you said during your interaction as pain points against you to get the money. That would be you acting as a victim. Or you could say, oh my God, you, holy shit, I've never had that perspective before. And while I might not ever fully agree with the entirety of the perspective, the fact that there is another way of thinking outside of my own makes me curious enough to here's my Amex card. Here, yes, tell me how I work with you. How do I learn how to use my imagination and my capacity to access, well, what if this and what if that and what if this, which is something that we already do, and focus it as What if I actually achieve my goal of having a very successful business and a very successful nonprofit? What then? And you actually start working towards the then what of your actual current desire. You're no longer just working towards what you want next. You're working towards what that version of you wants next, and even that version. So you are constantly treading a timeline, walking a path that no one and no thing is going to have power over me because I know exactly what steps I need to take to get where I need to go. This is where you get to the point where drugs and alcohol and other poisons to other people actually don't have an effect on you. First of all, you don't really want to use them as often, or if you do, it's in a much more medical capacity, as with like plant medicines, depending if that's part of your practice or not. I personally do use plant medicine a lot as a part of my practice, but that doesn't mean that everyone that I work with does. It means that you have the knowledge that you are allowing the vibration of the plant to enhance your ability to access other levels of consciousness that maybe you wouldn't have accessed without the aid of that plant. And then it's not that you're always trying to get back there, but you're like, wait, I had this crazy idea when I was tripping on mushrooms. And you start to realize that the more you think in this impossibility, like, oh, that's impossible, that all of the other steps in between impossible and where you are right now start becoming rational enough that your ego will allow you to have it. But really, your ego is just a part of you. So when you can detach from your ego, when you can detach from mortality, when you no longer fear death because you recognize that you truly are part of this all encompassing, all expansive universe, and that within the universe, you are then encompassed within this really the all, God, Sophia, whoever, and you're just really projecting, and you are choosing every moment in every lifetime in every lesson, and there is no thing that has ever happened to you that wasn't because you were choosing a way to remind yourself that you are actually a god, choosing to remain in emotional attachments to stories that happened 10 years ago, 10 months ago, 10 days ago, 10 hours ago, actually causes you to create traps. That's what creates the trauma, is when you don't allow the when you don't allow for the emotion to fully move itself through. When you don't allow for the emotion to fully move itself through, and to really and truly understand that you are in every way um, just living this experience. This energy and motion is your mental state can using energy, right? Okay, so you're in this mental, you think a thing. To think a thing, you then have to move forward. But we know that an object in motion stays in motion and an object at rest stays at rest. So we need some sort of energy to move us forward and to propel us forward. And the way that we do that is actually through our emotions. Our energy in motion is the momentum it takes for our mental state of energy to move and to condense down into the physical plane. So when something is occurring that elicits an emotional response, which is really actually a biofeedback physical response where hormones are released within the biophysical realm of your human body. And then that triggers more thoughts, and that's the feedback loop, and that's where the energy is coming. When you realize that that conduit is something that you are completely in control of, why in the hell would you continue to spiral that downwards? Why would you continue to catastrophize your life? Why would you continue to choose depression and anxiety and panic and worry and all of the other things that society tries to label us as, and instead think, you know what? If I can allow myself to go that far down an imaginary rabbit hole of death and destruction, why not use that same pathway of energy in the opposite direction where I start reaching for those dreams that I've never allowed myself to actually have? To move into those dreams of I could truly be someone who brings in a new technology that allows for poverty to be completely eradicated on this planet. I could be someone who completely reforms the criminal justice system. I could be someone who liberates all women from any domestic abuse, mental, physical, verbal, psychological, emotional. I could be someone who takes people into the depths of the ocean and lets them discover this entire new world that lives under the sea. I could be someone who creates magic potions that allows us to travel to other dimensions and connect to intergalactic beings. Like the limitlessness of our imagination in an upward spiral has so much more potential to allow us to truly live as free sovereign beings than continue to worry about, well, what if my new moon wishes don't come true? Stop doing new moon rituals and then spending the entire lunar cycle making a plan B, because that is literally contradicting and killing all magic that was imbued into your new moon intention. You have to act as if it's happening. Now, that doesn't mean go and spend all this money and blah, 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 unless you know for sure it's in alignment, which a lot of the time spending money is actually not in alignment. That's your ego. I find that I have the most magic occur in my life when money never has to actually exchange hands with me. And that's part of that manifestation of miracles where you're no longer having to use the old system's way of creating, which was old system was here's a bunch of bananas and here's a horse and let's exchange them. Now it's here's some money and here's a product or a service, let's exchange it. And yeah, I still do that obviously on a very regular basis. My clients pay me with money, I pay money at the grocery store, like I do that. But I'm talking about like the big manifestations that have occurred in my life, like having my dog just appear after I set it in the canyon, or having my house that I've owned. Like a lot of things that have happened actually didn't allow for um I didn't actually have to exchange any monetary, there wasn't any monetary exchanging. And I have a lot of my clients and my friends and my own mentors who have the same thing where they just manifested their house. They needed somewhere to live and they had no idea how they were going to do it. And at the very last minute, they found out a friend was leasing the apartment in their brand new, never been lived in before house. And or fully furnished houses that just get given to them. There's just so many ways that you don't actually have to use money, but that usually doesn't happen until you've already healed all of your shit with money, right? And I think that a lot of you who watch me maybe haven't gotten all the way through healing with your money. And then there's a lot of you that are like, oh, yeah, my money game is strong as hell. That's what's so beautiful is that super conscious living really is for anyone at any stage because it's about your limits on your imagination. Instead of having all these limited beliefs of like, I can't do this, like, who am I to have these things? It's more like, who are you not to have them? If you have them, you're literally giving permission to other people to have them. It's just like that Marianne Williamson's quote, which really is the basis for my entire business, my entire life. The fact that I can walk into the room and be the most magnetic thing in the room. I can walk in there with fearless authenticity and go into a press conference and just lay it down. So when I say there's no the three things that you have to realize about no one and no thing having power over you is the first thing is that you have to know that you are the one choosing every lesson in your life. When that happens, which is really step one, is what everyone's already doing. When you move out of victim consciousness, which is something that so many people teach, right? They teach the trauma, they teach the healing. We've been on our healing journeys. that part most of us have on lock. Like, okay, I'm willing to take responsibility and own that I'm the one who made these choices, or these things happen to me for a reason. The second part is letting go of the emotion that's tied into it. So, who would you be if you got, I posted this the other day, if you were to walk through a portal, just walk through a doorway, and for just a second, you get lit on fire with this burst of a violet flame, and it's not hot or not cold, but you are very aware that your whole body is set on fire. And you walk through it, and then, like, nothing, it turns off, and everything's fine, and you're just moving through your day. But what had really happened was the remove of a belief. And I think that belief was that, I don't even remember what it was, but any belief, whatever the belief is that you have a limiting belief of yourself about right now, if you were to absolutely unequivocally be unable to think that limiting belief about yourself anymore, who would you be? How would your life be different if you were no longer even capable of thinking of the fact that the universe doesn't fully provide for you in every way, always? Who would you be if you were unable to believe that requesting $50,000 a month was too big of a goal, and instead just knew that it was going to happen no matter what, even though you had no idea how? You start to really recognize when you release these emotions that the stories that you're telling, while they're stories and they are the building blocks of who you are, they don't have any power on you anymore. There's no control over you anymore based on the emotions. The people that were involved don't control you. You don't have emotional or physical or mental reactions to thinking about it. You just tell the story as it is because it is a part of who you are, but there's no hook, there's no energy binding you to it anymore. You've released it. And we, so many people release this trauma. Again, what super conscious living does is help you to focus that all that energy, all the clearing, all the healing that you've done, that energy is now just neutral energy out in the sphere of everything. Are you audacious enough to say, you know what, I went through all of that. And I'm actually, instead of just spewing it out for other people who are capable of commanding energy to use, I'm going to, in the same moment that I'm clearing it, focus it back in and command it into a positive upward flow towards what it is that I want to create, which is the third step: limitless possibility, allowing your imagination to run completely wild, and then starting to connect to that version of you that has it. You may not actually turn out to have all of those things ever. You might not ever get the Grammy Award. But the fact that you were audacious enough, bold enough, crazy enough, disciplined enough to every day wake up and say, okay, today's the day of the Grammy Awards that I'm going to be winning. I'm walking on stage. Okay, I see it, I feel it, I know it, and you get into that headspace of you as a Grammy Award winner, then you say, okay, well, then what did I'm going to go backwards. Since that is me in that future timeline of winning a Grammy Award, let's go backwards. And what did I do today? And you write your to-do list from the perspective of the past, like their past, but it's your current, because time doesn't actually exist. So no thing having power, time doesn't have power over me. I can go back into a memory and go help my 7-year-old self through this traumatic experience so that she no longer experiences it as a moment in her life that totally crippled her, and then become the version of me who doesn't have that trauma as a part of that story. How does that shift me? How do I change because of that? It's the reason why mirror work is so important when I work with my clients, because you actually can see the vibration of your whole being shifting in the mirror as you are doing these mantras and creating new beliefs and new knowings within yourself. Okay, so does anyone have any questions at this point? Because that was a lot pretty quick, but I feel like you were ready for it. Or Okay. So what do you do with this? What's the point of realizing that no one and nothing have power over you? You realize that if that is true about you, then it has to be true for other people. So you stop giving into the global consciousness of there being any victims. That anyone who's playing out any role in any time and space at all is also as powerful as you are, because we're all fractal reflections and projections of each other. There is nothing that I possess that you see within me that you yourself do not possess. And all it takes is cultivation. It's choosing every single day that that's the way that you want to be. Yeah, it's always a lot. Oh, sorry. Yes, I know. I come in here and I drop truth bombs. You guys are like, you don't even know what's about to be coming up soon. Like this summer is gonna like rock everyone's world. Um, okay, so what you do with this really is understanding that you're no better than anyone. So that's where you can do all of these things unconditionally. You can have this, I keep saying the word audacious, so I'll just stick with this audacious, almost arrogant, like, what the fuck does she think she is? And yet at the same time, like, so compassionate, so giving, so unconditionally loving, because I love you so much to not see you as a victim. I refuse to play into your victim story. So I'm going to continue to stand here and witness you as a warrior while you work through your own shit. I have to have an extremely solid container to hold the people that I work with, because they are living legends that are trying to be born. Every person who comes to work with me in a one-on-one capacity has a dragon egg in their vagina that they are not willing to push out, and they need a midwife that's able to sit there and be like, I can't birth this baby for you, but I can hold your space and I can push on your back and I can do all the things to help you, but at the end of the day, you're gonna have to birth this fucking dragon. And it's my greatest pleasure and my greatest joy to be able to witness insane ego deaths occur with my client. Like, life shattering things occur. And then the world that they have opened up because they took the risk of being held in such esteem, in such honor, means that you honored yourself, because you and I are not separate from each other. Anytime you invest by giving someone a whole lot of money and you're like, oh, I don't know, is it really worth it? Are you? I can tell you that the level that you invest is also the level of energy you're going to probably put into the program. I have clients who pay me pretty minimally and they do pretty minimal work. And I have high-end clients who pay me 30, 50, $60,000 and they're doing some fucking crazy things in the world. And I'm not saying you have to do that, but know that your energy exchange, we talked earlier about getting rid of money. If you are to use money, what value do you put on that money? Does $1,000 really mean a lot to you, or does it mean nothing? Because if $1,000 means nothing to you, then you're not going to do anything when you invest $1,000. But if it means that you're putting in the effort necessary, if you're willing to say, you know what, if I invest this money, that means that I'm going to be this much closer and this much faster to achieving my dreams, then yes, that's worth it. But you have to put in the work. Most people that I know who invest medium amounts of money, so under $10,000, do medium amounts of work. It just is what it is, and I'm not trying to judge. It's just being in this industry, it's what I've noticed. People who actually pay $100 because that's all they have, those are some clients that put in so much fucking effort, because that $100 is the same amount to them as $1 billion could be to somebody else. So it's how much energy do you feel about that money is also going to be your energy exchange. So that's something that you can play around with, like not being attached to money, but when you do choose to invest in it, it's because you're investing. You are investing in yourself, you're investing in your future, you're investing in your children's future, you're investing in the futures of the people that you're going to affect later. Like it's not just you. You are not alone. Like you're alone. You're living this. Like, you're not. I can't push that baby out for you, but you're not alone. You're doing this work, this hard fucking work for everyone on the planet, so that eventually there's enough of us who aren't personally thinking a certain way of fear and scarcity and lack and victimization and people have power over me and oh my god all these bad things happen. Enough of us personally don't believe that it's no longer a globally held belief either. That's when we reach sovereignty. That's when you have that earth that everyone dreams about with the unicorns and the dragons all merging together and the intergalactic beings. That doesn't happen until more people do the personal work that it takes to actually hold themselves accountable to impeccable standards with supreme integrity and radically trust that no matter what, when they make a decree, when they make a new moon intention, it is done, period. No fucking question asked. Next, please. That's commanding your energy, not hoping that it will work out. No, it's done because I said so. No one and nothing has power over me because I said so. It's a very tough mother sort of thing, and I understand that it seems very abusive because you're like, well, then what about free reign, free sovereignty for other people? I will tell you in the game of energetics, if you know how to play it, yeah, it's gonna look really manipulative. It just is. Because other people don't know how to use it. They don't know how to use their energy. So of course it's like a magnet. Like when you put a magnet over the steel, like you know what I'm talking about, and the pins flip up. It's because they have no choice except for to be magnetized to it because they don't have the strength or the will or the tenacity. So when you put a giant magnet up against a tiny little paper clip, of course that's going to happen. But that paper clip has the capacity to decide that it's worth morphing and changing and contorting and doing all the things that would be necessary to become a big ass fucking magnet too. Ah, I feel good. This was good. This was fast and intense. So I think that was what we needed today. So I hope that you all go and watch the episode from this morning. I think that's probably why I dropped a whole lot of knowledge this morning and it's kind of just like already moving through. I wanted to also make an announcement for you guys. I have launched, if you were here on the What If Masterclass, you already know this. I have launched the Cornerstone course, Super Conscious Living. It is out and available for you to purchase. It is a step by step process, 7 steps, about 3 hours long worth of content with PDFs and all these wonderful things for you. And it is available for you um, in the membership of Super Conscious Living. So right now it's only available inside Super Conscious Leaders, which is my membership group. So the membership group includes weekly trainings where we go through the step-by-step process of super conscious leaders of living and going through being in the goo and how do you realize that this is so much bigger than you and how do you really allow yourself to let your life crumble around you while you are moving forward and choosing the things that are most important to you, really prioritizing you so that you can have a solid cup so then you can fill that cup with everything you want and then as your cup floweth over other people are benefiting. This is really an inside out transformation from caterpillar to chrysalis to gooiness to out to flying around. um this is so that's what the whole course is about. And then inside of the membership we break all of that out even further. We have guest speakers, we're going to have mini challenges, we're going to have spotlights. I have the next 6 months planned out and it's pretty fucking epic, the stuff that we're going to be doing. So I'm going to leave the link for you if you are interested in joining us in Super Conscious Leaders. There are so many benefits that I'm giving you as well. If you do the annual membership, I'm opening the vault essentially. If you join for the annual membership, you're getting everything that I've pretty much created in the last, no, not pretty much. You're getting everything I've created in the last 6 months since the Dragon Portal opened and since everything started coming through. It's a $25,000 offer or value that I'm giving you for $1,000 if you join us in the annual membership. So definitely be checking this out here. Let me type it in. I'm gonna focus for 1 second so I don't mess it up. I should just have this copy and paste. Okay. So that's what I have for you guys today. Thank you so much. I am so happy everyone who came and joined me in the What If Masterclass this week. It was amazing. If you missed it and you want to have me do an encore, I'm thinking about doing an encore. So let me know in the comments if you're interested. If maybe you were late or you weren't able to make one of those times before, let me know. And I will probably do an encore for you later this week because it was really powerful and really amazing. If you have any questions about the leadership membership, let me know. If you have any questions about how to work with me, you guys, this is just the very beginning. The foundation, the cornerstone has been set, and now the empire is about to take off. So I love you all. Thank you so much. Have a beautiful rest of your day. I love you.